There are 5 levels of leadership in any company. Great companies that are built to last generally have level 4 leadership teams. For small businesses, that comes in getting them wrapped around what you're working towards, the vision, the mission. Those are great. But if they aren't powerful enough, you'll never get a level 4 team. Good morning. Welcome to this edition of the Morning Dig podcast. Today, let's talk about building a level 4 team. Now, for those of you who may not understand what a level 4 team is, I read a book called Tribal Leadership. They took the findings of Jim Collins, who is the author of a really famous business book called Built to Last, amongst others. Built to Last is one that I believe they got most of their information from, that they took his research and then just extended it and got deeper. And what this research team found was there are 5 levels of leadership in any company. There's level 1 leadership, which is basically every man for themselves. It's chaos. There's zero tribal care for the tribe. It's anarchy at its finest. Then there's level 2, which is like, okay, there's a little bit of control, but for the most part, no one really gives a shit. They're still out for themselves. There's no direct, clear vision towards the future or why they're there other than to get a paycheck. And there's level 3. Now you're kind of getting into that realm where a lot of companies sit, especially small businesses, owner-operated small businesses, where they're motivated. They have a general idea of why they're there. They have some kinship with the rest of their staff, coworkers. But for the most part, they just kind of exist. There's not really a greater cause pulling them all together. Now, you remember in my last episode, I talked about motivation is greater than discipline. And this kind of ties into that, where when you get to level 4, that's where the great companies work. Great companies that are built to last generally have level 4 leadership teams. Level 4 is everyone's working towards a greater cause. They all work in unison. They work for each other rather than with or against each other. In general, these teams are led by a passion, a commitment. My favorite football team of all time, the Oakland, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, everywhere on the West Coast Raiders, they had a commitment to excellence. When Al Davis, their owner, was leading the team at its peak, they all had a belief and a commitment to each other and to the organization and to the fans that they were going to give their best every single day because they had a commitment to excellence and they just win. It didn't matter. You just had to win. And that was, in my experience, what a level 4 team looks like. Now, it might not be that direct. It might not be something like that. It could be. A great example they used was cancer research. There was a team where they believe was a level 4 team at this hospital, all working towards findings in cancer where they felt like they may have found a solution to a specific type of cancer. And that level 4 team, for a brief stretch of time when they were on the verge of a huge finding, became a level 5 team. Level 5 is not something that can be sustained for long periods of time. Level 5 is like an all-out blitz. It's what you'd see in a small startup that's getting ready to go public. It's what you'd see in a research team on the verge of finding some incredible, solution to a major medical epidemic. It's what you'd find in something like that, where the root desire is so strong that they will literally sacrifice their entire personal world to achieve this greater goal with their tribe. So for the most part, level 4 is where you want to end up. And I think if you look around, you've probably worked for or been a part of at least one level 4 tribe. And it's just different. And you kind of always find yourself searching for it again and again, trying to figure out where it is. For me, what I realized is for small businesses, that comes in getting them wrapped around what you're working towards, the vision, the mission. Those are great. But if they aren't powerful enough, you'll never get a level 4 team. Like our goal, help 5,000 people beat chronic disease and obesity. It's pretty powerful. But for a lot of my staff, they've never experienced obesity. They don't know what chronic disease feels like. So they have a hard time grasping that. They might have had some family or friends that do, but it still hasn't hit them in a way that they understand it. It's similar to being around someone that you tell them, yeah, cancer sucks. And they go, yeah, cancer sucks. But they've never had cancer, so they don't really understand like that pit in your stomach every time you go for a scan. They don't understand that feeling of doom every time something is different about your body, an ache, a pain, whatever. It's just like they don't get it. So it doesn't quite hit the same. So you have to go deeper. For us, we had to realize that CrossFit is the thing that binds us. So we are going to use CrossFit to beat chronic disease and obesity. So it's just going deeper and deeper to find that root thing that everyone can tie themselves around and understand, yeah, I buy into that. I will push heaven and earth to accomplish that goal. So if you want a level 4 team, that's how you do it. Hope that helps. And if you need more information on it, highly recommend Tribal Leadership. Such a great book, really interesting findings. And as always, I hope that helps. Keep digging in.